as Marie and I and the 3 children have pondered this and struggled with this decision, I must say that one of the things that has been so touching, one of the things that has been so moving, is the calls of support and the offers of support. It's been quite an experience for us as we struggled with this. And I think what I found most tender, what I found most touching in terms of those calls and in terms of those emails was that in every instance, the support that was offered was unconditional. There was one exception, and I need to disclose that right now. And that exception was my father. So my father is 90, just turned 90, lives in Boysdale, right beside us, beside Marie and I. So anyway, he worked for 35 years for the municipality with the police force. He was a sergeant with the police force. So what he told me is that if I decided to run, what he would do, he'd be prepared to call some of the old contacts. He thought there was a few left. And then he told me that he would guarantee me this, that if I decided to run, he would deliver the parish of Boysdale. He would deliver Boysdale, right from the Barzwa Bridge, right to the end of Beaver Cove. But there would be a condition. If he delivered, and if I was elected, then I would have to commit to moving the municipal offices to downtown Boysdale. That's the deal. So we're negotiating that now. We're negotiating that. I've spent most of my adult life working in this community. I have spent most of that work establishing enterprises and raising capital. The business of community building is essentially the business of pulling together teams and inspiring those teams. It has been my pleasure to work with many of you here. It has also been my pleasure to work with CBRM from time to time. And during the last 12 years, it has also been my pleasure to work with Mayor John Morgan. John Morgan is a man who exclusively stands for and on behalf of this community. No matter the pressure, that man did not bend. That courage on our behalf will be his legacy, and that legacy will stand for a long, long time. My dream, my whole life has been to rebuild this community. And my passion in my work has been to realize that dream. So while on the one hand, there is nobody more surprised that I am standing here before you today, on the other hand, and in hindsight, it's sort of like I've been getting ready for this moment my whole life. So I'm here, I stand before you today to tell you that I have decided stand for election as the mayor of CBRM. Did you know that at the turn of the 20th century, this community was the 4th largest employer in the whole Dominion of Canada? We were right there. Imagine that. We were right there. We were up there with Toronto, with Montreal, and with Winnipeg. A lot has changed, and there have been a lot of challenges. Notwithstanding those challenges, what we have decided to do as a people, we've decided to let this hold that this island has on us, to let it take root, and it has. And why that happens and how that happens, it's a bit of a mystery. But I know this. Part of how I am rooted into this island, part of my attachment to this island, in large measure, the reason for my devotion to this island, is my affection and my respect for the people. I stand in awe of a people who have such courage that they persevere no matter the challenge and no matter the cost. But you know what's interesting? Do you know what's interesting about life? Life doesn't go in a straight line. Life goes in a circle. And you see that. If you look at it in long time frames, you see that, you step back, and you see that things just turn around again. That's the way it works. So as we stand here and look at where we are now, as we stand here and ponder our future, there is something in our heart. There is a knowing we have that there's something changing. There's something going on. And part of what's going on is we're about to start making a turn in the road. And part of what's going on is there's windows that are beginning to open up, and on the other side of those windows, there is opportunity. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. And what the other thing that's going on is that there's an understanding. There is an understanding that's beginning to take hold. That as this is happening, that will enable us to let go of an old story that because of our circumstances, we were trapped inside. And that old story, that old painful, difficult story, that was a story about challenges. That was an incredible story about pain. That was an incredible story about uncertainty. And that was an incredible story about dependency. But there's a shift. You can feel the shift. And as we stand and we ponder that shift, know this. What we have at our feet as a community is a series of substantial strengths that are deeply rooted in this island and inside of who we are. We are a beautiful island. We always knew that. What's notable is that the word is getting out. It's leaking. And what's becoming clear is that we're not just a beautiful island. We are one of the most beautiful islands in the whole world.